It is our top story on this Monday. An Amber Alert has been issued for a missing Western Kentucky girl as state police investigate her mother's murder. 5-year-old Layla Black is believed to be with her biological father, Byron Black, who is accused of shooting and killing Layla's mother, Kelly. Police responded to the girl's home in Princeton, Kentucky Sunday morning around 8:40. That's just about 2.5 hours southwest of Louisville. Layla is described as having brown hair, brown eyes, is 3'6" and weighs about 40 pounds. Police believe Byron is driving a '96 white Silverado with a California license plate with paint peeling off the hood. If you see either of them, you are urged to call 911 immediately. Well, Metro Police made an arrest in a deadly downtown shooting that happened a week ago Sunday right in front of 4th Street Live. 33-year-old Jordan Fields is now charged with murder. LMPD's Violent Crime Unit was staking out the 2600 block of Garland Avenue when they found him. He took off. They said police officers chased him on foot with their canines, eventually arresting him. Police also said Fields shot and killed 37-year-old Chad Smith on January 21st along Liberty Street, right in front of 4th Street Live. This was the 6th downtown homicide so far this year, according to the Metro's gun violence dashboard. Fields is also charged with possession of a handgun by a convicted felon, fleeing police, and assault of a service animal. That's because police said he tried to hurt one of their canines during that arrest. His bond is set at $500,000. He'll be back in court February 6th. Today, the Harden County community is mourning the loss of a teacher and coach. John Harden High School announced that Austin Jones died this morning. A cause has not been released. He was the head coach of the boys basketball team and a special education teacher. The district released a statement saying the Bulldog family is devastated, and when one part of our family hurts, we all hurt. Licensed and trained school professionals are available at the school to meet with individuals who need support today. A man is behind bars this afternoon after a deadly shooting in Salem, Indiana. Indiana State Police said it happened just after midnight Sunday. They responded to a house on the 500 block of North College Avenue near Hackberry Street in downtown Salem. That's when officers went inside and found 29-year-old Jacob Richard Mitchell dead from a gunshot wound. ISP said 3 people were in that house at the time of the shooting, including 24-year-old Blake Henry. He's been arrested in connection to Mitchell's murder. 2 pedestrians killed over the weekend in separate incidents around the Louisville area. Here in the Metro, police said a truck struck and killed a person on Dixie Highway and Flowerville Lane in southwest Louisville. It happened around 9 o'clock Saturday night. According to police, the pickup's driver was traveling on Dixie when he said a man stepped into the street. Police said the driver was not hurt and is cooperating with the investigation. And just about a half hour later, New Albany police responded to a deadly collision on I-64. A car struck a man near the Spring Street exit around 9:30 Saturday night. His name has not been released. Police said the case remains under investigation. A controversial voting bill is moving through the Kentucky Senate. Senate Bill 80 would limit the types of identifications you can use to vote. Current state law requires a photo ID in order to vote, and right now people can use university or college-issued IDs to do this. However, the bill's primary sponsor, Senator Adrian Southworth, says these are issued with less personal information and therefore should not be accepted.
People that have these government issued documents have had to do things like, swear an oath. They have an ethics code if they're an employee. I mean, there's a lot of kind of surrounding stuff that goes around where we assume these people may be telling us the truth.
This is a solution in search of a problem. I haven't heard any evidence that these forms of ID are more likely to be subject to fraud. I worry that by taking away a source of identification most often used by some of our more vulnerable residents who don't have access to some of these government-issued IDs that require folks to gather documents, they can be expensive, both in terms of time and money, that we're actually making it more difficult for folks to vote.
That bill passed out of committee and will now head to the Senate floor. It's expected to be voted on passage for Tuesday. A new bill in Indiana looks to put cameras in classrooms to monitor some of the state's most vulnerable children. House Bill 1703 would require cameras in special ed classrooms where there are students with severe disabilities. The cameras would also go in rooms where those students with special needs are secluded or put in timeout. That bill comes after an incident last year in Brownsburg where a special needs student was forced to eat his own vomit. That led to several teachers and aides being fired and criminally charged.
And I want you to consider if these were your children or your grandchildren, Would this be good enough for you to not have them protected?
Knowing their actions are being recorded can encourage educators to seek de-escalation strategies and alternative interventions before resorting to restrictive measures.
Now, some educators say the cameras may not help, especially in the areas the bill asks for cameras to be placed. That Brownsburg incident was all captured on video from cameras in the school cafeteria. Instead, educators say schools should focus more on adequate training and support for staff. Right now, the New Albany City Council is meeting to discuss a potential citywide moratorium for new apartments and short-term rentals. According to Mayor Jeff Gahan, last year, local officials partnered with U of L for a comprehensive housing study. Results showed that New Albany should focus its efforts on increasing single-family homes, which Gahan says could be done with that moratorium. If the city's council agrees, the moratorium would put a pause on construction of apartments and short-term rentals for more than a year. A new amendment filed in the Indiana State House is looking to increase transparency related to fire and EMS agreements with local governments. Last week, New Albany State Representative Ed Clare filed that amendment to House Bill 1328 in response to the ongoing situation with Jamie Knoll, the former Clark County Sheriff and co-founder of New Chapel Fire EMS, now facing 15 felony charges for theft, public corruption, and ghost employment. Clare's amendment would require all contracts with fire and EMS services to be uploaded to Indiana's public access website.
This notably would require all contracts or other agreements, not just those above $50,000, which is current law. Based on conversations I've had with the Department of Local Government Finance, unfortunately, a lot of contracts aren't being uploaded now.
That bill heads to the House floor, where it's expected to be considered as early as today. Well, icy weather leads to potholes every year, as you know, but this winter they're popping up earlier than usual. I-64 alone took out several tires and wheels last week as drivers bottomed out near Blankenbaker Parkway. Our Ian Hardwick and Alyssa Newton hit the road to check out the repairs and talked with one teacher who hit some big repair costs.
I mean, bills are expensive. Kids are expensive, life is expensive, and it's hard when you don't have much wiggle room or extra money to put out for this kind of stuff because the potholes are everywhere.
Kristen Mefford hit one of those potholes Wednesday after a full day of teaching.
But that happened on an interstate, so that means it's the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet's responsibility. Here on Zorn Avenue, the city's about to fill in some potholes, and they're starting to see more of them this time of year because it's warming up earlier than usual.
Potholes start when water fills cracks in the asphalt. When that freezes, it expands and splits up the road. After warm temperatures melt the ice, what's left is a hole that wears out easily. So to fix it, crews clear out the loose crud.
And then hit something in the middle.
Then they tack the edge with tar and shovel in the steaming asphalt before smoothing it all out with a roller.
We normally get 10 to 15 work orders come in a day. Some days it's 25, sometimes it's less, but whatever gets called in through 311 is what we attend to.
Mike Nolan, Public Works Assistant Director, says they have 3 crews working day and night to repair the roads. He and KYTC encourage drivers to report potholes. In Louisville, Ian Hardwick, WHAS11 on your side.
Potholes on local roads can be reported on the Metro 311 app. Our digital team has an article up for even more ways to report them on WHAS11.com.